What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Let Reckless Logic. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack that notification bell so do not miss any more posts from me. Let's get straight into this video. Alrighty, guys, what's going on? Hello, how you doing today, YouTube? Welcome to the Eargasmic Report. This is a segment where you guys are going to hear me, but you guys will not see me. So allow my voice to be music to your ears, okay? All right, so as you guys can tell by the title of this video, you already know what we're going to be getting into. As everybody's coming into the building, I just want to say hello. I would appreciate you guys being up. My sleeping schedule has been, I'm gonna say I've been staying up more, I'm gonna say I've been staying up more late now. My sleeping schedule's been more late nowadays, baby. Okay. So as you guys get into the building, I will be setting things up here in the background. Now, I was over here kind of, I want to say, contemplating on whether or not I wanted to play some background music. I wasn't really sure because I do want to set the mood, but at the same time, I didn't want my system to start glitching because, girl, only God knows. Hey, what's going on? How you doing today? How you feeling? How you doing today? What's going on with you? See, on my end, it's over here going crazy, but it's all right. We're going, hey, Sunflower, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? All right, so let me get straight into what we're going to be talking about. So, by the way, y'all, make sure that the audio is going good. It's clear. I sound crisp. I just want to make sure everything on your end sounds clear the same way that I sound clear, at least on my end. Because a lot of times, too, it's like a lag. So by the time I get a chance to know about it, yo, I'm like halfway in. What's going on, Arshawn? Okay, so let's get into what we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to start off with Mr. Peter. Oh, I sound good, period. What's going on? So I'm going to start off with Peter Thomas. Now, if you guys are not aware, Peter Thomas was alleged that he had choked out Tammy Rivera niece. Now, those were allegations that came out. Apparently, there was a situation where apparently there was a situation at Bar 1, and there was an incident between apparently him and Tammy. Every time I say her name, I want to say Tammy Roman. Tammy Waka Flocka's ex-wife, girlfriend, or whatever, niece. There was a physical incident. So I'm going to pull that up right here. Now, this is brought to you by the courtesy of my favorite blog. I'm going to say the Jasmine brand. Let's get into it. All right, so what it says right here. Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Peter Thomas found not guilty after being accused of choking a woman at his restaurant. It's stuff like this that makes me stronger. So let me continue to read. It says, according to reports, the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum was found not guilty on Wednesday, March 1st, of assaulting a customer at his Baltimore restaurant, Bar 1. The crazy alleged incident occurred in March of last year, and was first reported by the Neighborhood Talk. Reportedly, a woman named Chanel Williams, the alleged victim, was dining at Peter Thomas' establishment when she noticed the reality star was intoxicated and appeared to be in a bad mood. Girl, this about to get burnt. Now it says, and then shared her observations of Peter Thomas. She was allegedly in earshot of so who was allegedly in earshot of her with a friend. According to Williams, after hearing what she said, Peter became angrier and grabbed her throat, maintaining pressure around her neck for 30 seconds until staff members were able to intervene. Girl. Now it says here, however, Peter, the ex-husband of Real Housewives of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey, has a different side of things. Reportedly, while recently in court, he testified that Williams' allegations are ridiculous. According to the businessman, the woman accusing him of assault was the hysterical one who caused an unnecessary scene. He added that he tried to ease her off of him and she fell back into the lounge chair. Well, it looks like the court has sided with Peter, and the jury deliberated for less than an hour today. Then that right there speaks volumes. If the jury took less than an hour, now I do understand that when it comes down to the legal system, and I also understand when it comes down to the law, jury, court systems, etc. Baby, if that they're not perfect, nothing within this system, nothing up under the sun, above the sun, whatever is perfect. So there's a possibility they could be wrong, but at the same time, what this is like kind of saying to me, speaking out to me, it's letting me know that there was a lot of evidence or lack of evidence to prove that her side of events was actually the truth. Now, where was I? Okay, so it says here, deliberated for less than an hour today, he was acquitted in Baltimore Circuit Court of second-degree assault. Now it says here, reports claim that the verdict was read. Chanel Williams quickly exited the courtroom. After his time in court, Peter took to Instagram to speak about his victory. And it says here, and he said, and I quote, "Hey people, I've just walked out of the courthouse. It's all over the blogs, right?" He continued, "I've just walked out of the courthouse and the verdict came back 12 out of the 12 juries not guilty. Keep on coming for me, but I tell them that I'm protected. Try to come for me in all kinds of ways, but I'm protected," he added. And I continue, and I quote, "Now when I don't talk to y'all because I think y'all are some BS, don't take it personal. Because it's stuff like this that makes me stronger." Girl. Baby, baby, baby. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, girl, that was just good, oh, girl. So what's going on? Hey, how you doing today? So allow me to continue. Let's continue on this joyride because the incident didn't only just stop there. So after he was, he came out of the courtroom as not guilty, this is what he actually had to say. Of course, I'm pretty sure I just read it to you, but however, this is the actual video. And this clip here is actually brought to you by Hollywood Unlocked. So let's play that bad boy for you.
Hey people, I just walked the courthouse.
Oh, and by the way, y'all, let me know if there's an echo of anything like that, okay?
Where this whole thing, this mess that's on it's all over the blogs, right? So I just walked out of the courthouse. And the verdict came back 12 out of 12 jurors not guilty. Keep on coming for me, but I tell them that I'm protected. Okay? They're trying to come for me in all kind of ways, but I'm protected. All right? I know what it is. Now when I don't talk to y'all, because I think y'all on some...
Here we go.
Don't take it personal. Because it's stuff like this that makes me stronger. Okay? I'm protected. Have a good day.
Okay, so of course, I literally just read that in the last article, but I do want to say this. I kind of got a peep, I kind of peeped what somebody had said in the comment section, but I'm gonna get to that a little bit later. But Tammy Rivera actually responded.
A lot of people,
so this is what she had to say.
People are asking me and DMing me about the situation with my niece. I haven't spoke about it or said anything because, out of privacy for her and her respect. But anybody who knows, they know I don't play when it comes to my family. Peter knows that as well. What the moral story is, my niece didn't want me to help her. She didn't want me involved. She didn't want me to help her with the lawyer or the case or anything. What it boils down to is he had Warren Brown as a lawyer. My niece had a state's attorney. That's what happened. That's all it is. He put his hands on her. He choked her. She called me outside the restaurant crying hysterically. My niece is not loud. She's not ghetto. She does not be in no mess. That's not her world. For her to even call me like that and saying that someone and everybody who was in that club saw it.
Ooh. So now that comment in the comment section makes more sense. At least for me, it does. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what she literally just said. She literally just said, "My niece is not loud, not ghetto." And then the comment I peeped was right here. It says, for the record, women who are loud and ghetto shouldn't be abused either. Hashtag words mean things. Now that's the thing. That's the reason why I kind of had a little bit of a. I was like, okay, so what's going on here? Obviously, it's a part of the story that I probably missed, or something that he said or she said that I didn't pay attention to. But that's apparently what was going on. Okay, so, but I will be stopping this in segments on because I ain't got no notes, and on top of that, we're gonna break this down. So first things first, I do want to say I do understand what she's saying. Now in terms of what this comment is saying, I also agree with that as well. But I do understand what she's saying. What Tammy is saying, I understand from the point of view of my niece, quote unquote. She has no reason to quote unquote lie, because from what I have, so basically from what I know of her and her character, for her to lie, or for her to quote unquote lie about something this serious, it's not consistent with what I know her character to be. Now, I will say this as well. Just because you may be her aunt, relative, people are multifaceted. We show many faces. A lot of people, when they go to work, there's one face that you show to people at work, or specifically your boss. When you go to your family members, it's a specific face that you show to your family members. When you go with your friends, it's a specific face that you show with your friends as well. So just because you haven't been introduced to a said face of your niece, not saying that she did or didn't do it, but just talking to the point directly, just because you have not seen certain behavior of your niece, that does not mean that it's not within her. Just want to say that. And but I do understand what she means, is because if I have a friend that's okay, so if I have a friend named Tommy, and then I have a friend named Leroy, let's just say Tommy is very docile, he's very calm, he's shy, he's not combative, he's actually, not really a fighter and stuff like that. And then I have my friend Leroy. On the other hand, Leroy, he's more combative, he's confrontational, he's willing to go there with people if need be. He played certain sports like football, he's into boxing, all of those different things. So if I were to tell you that Tommy got into a fight, it's more likely people could be more surprised. Oh my God, why? What happened? What you mean Tommy got into a fight? Oh my God. People are more likely to be surprised by quote unquote Tommy getting into a fight because of his character, or the way that he comes off, or the way that he presents himself, compared to Leroy, who's with the rah. And so it makes it much more believable for people to believe those things. So I did understand what she was saying, and I also understand what this comment was saying as well, but I'm gonna continue.
He called around that next morning multiple times trying to apologize and get in contact with her. Like, you did it. Apologize and move on. A lot of people are
okay.
If it gets to a point where you can't control your liquor and you don't remember what happened, and you have to call around and say, oh my God, I don't remember what happened last night. What did I do? I don't remember that happening. That you're that drunk that you can't remember. That's sad. Get some help. Thank God that you had a little money to get you a good lawyer to get you off. But next time it might not go that way. It might go a whole nother way. This ain't Miami. This ain't, Charlotte. You in Baltimore. Get some help, because it ain't going to be a next time. So thank God you won this case. If it gets to a point where...
All righty. That's basically what Tammy had to say. So let's go to the comment section and see what the people are saying. So now, of course, like I just read, but I'm going to reread for the people who weren't really here. Now it says here, for the record, women who are loud and ghetto shouldn't be abused either. Another person says this: girl, you don't know what your niece was out there doing. That man is not guilty. Next. Another person says, Lapita always in some mess. Now, keep in mind, y'all, remember, from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Peter was well known for always, quote unquote, being in women's business. And so they called him Patricia, just to let you guys, be aware. If you're not aware, I'm just saying. All right, so let me continue. It says, y'all let the court decide Tory shot Meg, so Peter must be innocent, right? The court says so. Girl, here they go bringing Megan into some stuff, but I guess. Another person says this. So he just choked her for nothing and got found not guilty. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Another person says, first 48, Chokey Robinson. Another person says, stop automatically believing women like they don't lie. Another person says this, I legit thought this was girl, I'm not gonna go all the way over there. Let me continue. Let me see, can I get some other ones? Okay. This is a kind of, I'm gonna say it on the opposing side. It says, just because you're found not guilty don't mean you didn't do it. The same way innocent people get found guilty every day. That's it. That's the comment. Another person says, not loud, not ghetto. So only loud and ghetto women get abused. It's the logic that needs help. Hashtag domestic violence survivor. Ooh, I'm gonna read two more. Let's see, can I find a good one? Okay, it says here, if it was a criminal case, which I'm assuming it was, then the prosecuting attorney would be the one representing her interests. So the outcome of the case could have boiled down to her not having a private attorney. Now, to be completely honest, when it comes down to having attorneys or all the other stuff, I don't know too much about that, but it seems like people in the comment section has more information of what's going on. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Anon. Hey, what's going on, IG? How you doing? I've been asleep all day, baby. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. But okay, so maybe if I read some more of these comments, some people could have a possibility of explaining this, the court and the lawyer situation, because I am lost. Okay, one thing about me, I don't know anything about the court system as in depth. So, baby, now let me see it. Now she says here. Now one person says she had a state's attorney because she was a victim of a crime, but that doesn't go to the evidence of the case. People always want to discredit these attorneys' hard work and know nothing about the legal system. It was a jury who found him not guilty after hearing the evidence. Girl. Okay, so let me say this, because baby, it just got a bit much. So let me just say this. Let me put my thing back up. Y'all make sure you guys thumbs up this video, because when you guys thumbs up, it really does help out with YouTube's algorithm. Please thumbs up this video. Okay, so first things first. Do I believe that he did something with this woman? I don't know, because the thing is this. If there was a situation, like I'm actually really curious to know what evidence or lack of evidence that was present in the courtroom for the jury to deem him as not guilty, if the opposing side is still standing firm on he did this to me. Because if this happened at bar one, and then not only that, you also have witnesses. And I will say this, when it comes down to the witnesses, because what the article said is that it was other employees that had to come and intervene. But if this is a bar, if this is a establishment, you also have people who were there dining inside of the bar who can also attest or denounce either side, either party, either experience, and really use them as evidence or kind of help your side of things. And also what I will say is this. I'm not that girl. But what I also will say is this. If there was any type of evidence, then if that's the case, to me trying to really think and try to come up with a more logical answer, what the heck was going on in that courtroom, then to me, I would think that this incident, there was no footage or no video that was presented in the courts. Because if I did something or I was accused of doing something and this is my establishment, and if I had video footage that proved my innocence, I don't understand how that wouldn't be presented within the courts. And with that being presented in the courts, there's no way someone can deny or continue to deny that I'm innocent. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I would love to know what happened within the courtroom as an evidence being presented, or what was said. What are some accounts that actually happened within that courtroom that we do not know about, that we're not aware of? But if Peter, because he has been deemed as not guilty, since he's been deemed as not guilty, you can't really hold it over his head, especially when we do not have quote unquote evidence to really know. But if he did, and I'm gonna say this, if he actually did do this, but yet he was, he got away in a sense, then I don't want to say that, girl. I don't want to say if he did this and he actually got away, then if that's the case, then allow karma to work his way. Allow karma to work his way. But whatever the truth is, hopefully it actually came out, because both sides are completely standing firm on what they believe happened or what they know to have happened. But I don't know, because even then, I've literally in the past, there were reports or stories of when it comes down to Peter drinking and stuff, he can't act out. So I don't know. Let me see what some of you guys are up here saying before I move on. Now, oh, come on, Sunflower says, keep your hands to yourself. I don't care. Don't touch me, because I won't touch you. I know that's right. Give your nasty piece of uppercut. Please make you guys thumbs up. It really does help out with the YouTube's algorithm. Thank you so very much. All right, so let's get in here. Come on, Michael. It says, was it self-defense? How was he found not guilty? Did she have bruises? That's the thing. We don't know. At least for right now, we're not aware. I have no clue. Me just trying, but then again, what I'm about to say probably gonna be just a tad bit ignorant. If me assuming, and I could be wrong, if her niece seems to have a lighter complexion, I would think that bruises would look much more visible, because from what the report said, the article said that apparently he had choked her with pressure around her neck for 30 seconds. So it's a possibility, especially if she has a lighter complexion. If she had any bruises, they would have come forth. But throughout all of those things, apparently it wasn't enough evidence to prove that what happened to her is what happened to her. But not only that, all of those things could have happened. But at the same time, I believe, and I could be wrong. Remember, y'all, I'm not deep into the court system. I did not go to school for law. But what I will say is this. I believe you also have to prove that this person is the actual person that did this to me. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know, but whatever the truth is, or whatever the truth just about has to be, it comes out. It comes out. But I also want to say this as well before I move on, is that the situation dies down, because I know with situations like this, things can get really, 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 really out of hand, and next thing you know, somebody's 6 feet under. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. But let's move on. Actually, yes. So let's talk about Peter Thomas and Miss Mia Thornton. Now, if y'all are not, if you guys are not aware about who Mia Thornton is, Mia is a Real Housewife of Potomac cast member. She's on the Real Housewives of. Yes, I actually seen that. Like now it's so funny because I never really go on her platform or come across her platform because she is transphobic, but I just so happened to come across it and I clicked on it, and he was actually, interviewing with her. But I might check it out, or I'm gonna see, can I find somebody else that's talking about it or whatever, because I really don't like to go to her stuff because she is transphobic. But yeah, so I'm thinking about checking that interview out to see what he had to say, but also I would love to hear the opposing side. But at the same time, if she is, well, it's bar 1, so she has to be over 18. If she is to drink, so if she is considered to be underage, then I guess we would never really hear from her directly, but I don't know. But then again, they put her name out, So she has to be of age. Okay, I guess. All right, so yeah, so Mia Thornton is a cast member, a housewife on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, Real Housewives of Potomac is one of the franchises that I literally always talk about, at least on this platform, when it comes down to the colorism issue on their platform, their franchise. Now, Mia Thornton had made some allegations on one of the other cast members. The other cast member's name is Wendy. Now, Wendy was accused of allegedly sleeping with Peter. Now, Peter hit these social media streets and combated those allegations. So let's see what Peter had to say, because he was not too fond of Mia making these allegations about him. Okay, so let me say this before let me actually read this. Let me see, can I bring this up? Y'all make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Thumbing up really does help a brother out, okay? Ooh, dirt. Now it says here, now this is brought to you guys by the Jasmine brand, my favorite brand, of course. Now it says here, Peter Thomas threatens to sue Mia Thornton over her allegation that he slept with Wendy. Now, girl, her last name I always messed up, but it's Dr. Wendy to you, okay? Dr. Wendy Osufo, I think I got that right. And it says here, it's so disrespectful and thirsty. Cease and desist. Now it says here, Peter Thompson wants the girls over at Bravo to stop using his name for clout. Now, how are you going to sit up there saying, now I do understand this. How are you going to sit up here and say that you're tired of these girls using your name for clout? I can understand that, because if it's not true, don't say it. But at the same time, you on top, you all in their franchise, you all up on their TV screens, you all up in their stuff that you're not a part of no more. So yeah, when you're a part of that, yeah, it's a possibility that someone might connect your name with something. I get both sides of the equation. Now it says here, the restaurant owner is responding to claims made by Mia Thornton during the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion special. Now, by the way, y'all, down here, as you guys can see my cursor, this is Wendy down below. Beautiful, beautiful woman. And this is me up top, beautiful woman. Of course, you guys already see Peter over here. Now it says here, and I continue, Peter is calling cap and threatening legal action regarding Mia's accusation that her cast member, Wendy Osofo, girl, her last name always get me, Osofo, girl, I probably butchered the hell out of that, gave Peter the cookie. Come on, cookie lady. The restaurant owner also took aim at Bravo, claiming that they've been exploiting his name all season, despite the fact that he only filmed with the housewives for 5 minutes. What are your thoughts? So let's see what Peter had to say.
Somebody just sent me a clip. You know, I'm going through a lot of shit right now. But somebody just sent me a clip from the Potomac Housewife reunion show. And Mia is going at it with Wendy. And brother, this is kind of your fault, because I taped with y'all for 5 minutes promoting Bar in Baltimore and Bar in Miami Beach, and you turned that 5 minutes into 9 episodes, and now my name is thrown around on the reunion show, when in real life, I don't mess with none of those women, okay? Giselle, Robin, cool people. The rest of them, Wendy, I shot with her one time. 5 minutes, then go out to dinner with her. I didn't have no late night snack with her. She's a married woman. She's very respectful, very honorable. Okay, so for me, for you to be, somebody just sent me a clip. You know, I'm going through a lot of shit right now.
Girl.
Somebody just sent me a clip.
Girl.
Talking about me and Wendy getting together is so disrespectful. And it's so thirsty. It's real thirsty for you to do that just to collect that check from Bravo. There's nothing cool about that. Okay? And you can't just use my name like that, because if you use my name like that, I'm going to have my lawyer get in touch with you guys, and it's going to be really ugly. Okay? Because I do not know any of those women. I never see them outside of my establishment. Okay? And y'all just can't recklessly just throw people's name out there like that, because it actually hurt my business.
Girl.
That's irresponsible. Please cease and desist.
Girl, he ain't playing no games, girl. All right, so this is what he had to say down below. With all that I am going through, then comes this bullshit. at Bravo Andy at Bravo TV. Stop using me for y'all ratings. Please fact check. Come on, facts check before y'all air these episodes. Girl, so let's see what some of the people had to say. He already got a lot going on, but I'm glad he addressed it. Mia be doing the most. Now another person says this, Bravo didn't exploit him. Mia did. Girl. Now another person says this, he and Wendy should sue Leah. Come on, Leah. Another person says, no, Mia has been exploiting his name, not Bravo. And she did say Peter got the cookie from Wendy. Another person says, Patricia always in women's business. That's referencing Nene, y'all. Another person says this, he should sue just because Mia is a married woman who doesn't mind sharing her kitty with others doesn't mean that Wendy is the same way. All of this lying needs to stop. Now, I will say this in terms of the incident when it comes down to, hey, how you doing? Now, when it comes down to the incident of people lying on people and for a storyline and stuff, I'm gonna be honest. Bravo, TV, VH1, BT, they really do need to start being more strict when it comes down to people putting out allegations or straight up lies about people. Now, I do understand it's juicy for the show, or people may say anything about their mouths because they're angry and stuff, but at the same time, you also have to be mindful of the things that you say, especially of that caliber. Quote unquote, if everybody on that show comes from money, then guess what? Broke people, for the most part, we ain't got to worry about being sued, because most of the time when we broke or whatever, or we just don't have enough money, or we're not at a certain caliber, as in making millions, or coming to a certain caliber of wealth, last thing you think about is money, to be completely honest with you. So more than likely, you're gonna say you did this, you did that. Little person gonna say I didn't do that, and they just might go out there and fight. That's typically what just might happen. But in terms of when you get to a certain status, people know that they have assets. People know that they have businesses. People know that they also have a brand and a name that's attached to their name. Then yeah, you're more likely to be sued for defamation, and you're more likely to also get beat in the courts and also beat in real life. And then after you get beat in real life, they'll just take the charge and then pay you the money because it was worth it. But especially Bravo, when you already had an incident where you had Miss Phaedra Parks and Portia Stewart, or Portia, I done stole your African husband, Williams, done came up with this quote unquote allegation that Candy was doing all these inappropriate things that weren't even the truth, just because Phaedra wanted to get back at Candy and Portia was just trying to say anything just to get up under Candy's skin and being spiteful and just lying. And you're right here. It's very reckless. It's very reckless. And this goes back to this is the reason why I named myself Reckless Logic, because it's the way that I see people within the world. People like to do a lot of reckless stuff, but then yet they have this insane logic to try to justify it. It's really insane. It's irrational. But yes, I do believe that these networks, these productions, companies need to have more strict, especially Bravo, need to have more strict rules, restrictions, limits when it comes down to people coming up with allegations. And especially, and my thing is this, if you want something to quote unquote be juicy, because I was even saying this when I was watching the Real Housewives of Potomac's, reunion. Hey, Deshaun, how you doing? Hey, Anon. Hey, Deshaun, how y'all doing? But I will say this, like, even when I was actually watching the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, a lot of times, and I would say even Atlanta, they would say anything out their mouths. And I'd be like, do y'all even have receipts? I would love for the host, I would love for Andy or who's ever going to be the host to start pressing these women or pressing any of the cast members, but specifically since we're talking about Real Housewives, these women to provide receipts. To where, okay, if you're going to say it out your mouth, how do you know this is true? What do you have to quote unquote prove that it's true? Because at least if you still want to keep the messiness going, the audience, we love old nasty piece of receipt. We love us old nasty piece of CVS, Walgreens receipt. So if you have a receipt to prove and back up what you're saying, I can take that compared to you just pulling something out of your behind. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was literally watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I noticed how some of y'all faves, I'm not really a big fan of her, Sheree. How Sheree, hey, it was in doing. Yeah, I know it's late, and you know sometimes you may get the notification rumors of tea, and sometimes you may not. I know. A lot of things go on, baby. But here's the thing, like I've literally seen the where Sheree was going back with Kenya, and she was just literally say anything in her mouth. Oh, we know you slept with everybody in the industry. How do you know that? Do you have receipts on that? Who are you referring to? And then the reason why I question that is because seasons later, when she got into it with when Marlo got into it with Candy, Marlo said that basically, well, she didn't really basically say it. She said it out of her mouth direct. She called Candy a hoe. And then Sheree went right behind it and said, yep, facts. And then when asked on a reunion, Sheree literally said, I was just following up, you know, with what Marlo said. I did not know if she was a hoe or not. And then not only that, Marlo said the same thing. I was just talking. You know, I just be talking. But I will say this, though. There have been stories circulating. Now, I don't know if these stories have any truth to them, that out of the group, Candy was the more promiscuous one. That's what I had seen or whatever, or, you know, circulating. I don't know if that has any truth, but if you're going to be on a reality TV show, especially when it comes down to Bravo and their history, you need to have receipts on what you're saying. If you don't have receipts, do not bring it up. If it wasn't discussed on the show, do not bring it up unless it has context for what the situation we're talking about. I'm just saying. But let's move on. All right, so I can tell this is going to be like a tad bit long video because, baby, I was not expecting to be 40 minutes on that first segment. Okay. All right, so let's get into Miss Drew Sidora. Now, if no one's aware who Drew Sidora is, now Drew Sidora is an actress, but she's also on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, y'all see how I did that? I went from Peter from Real Housewives of Atlanta alumni, which goes from Peter Thomas, then I went to Real Love and Hip Hop, which is Tammy, and then I went from Real Housewives of Potomac, which is me, and now we're going back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all see how I did that? That's really good. But now we have Miss Drew Sidora and Ralph Pittman. Both of them are racing, playing freeze tag up to the courthouse for divorce. Now, initially, it said that Ralph Pittman files for divorce from Drew Sidora after nearly 9 years of marriage. But then later on, as this story started to develop, all of a sudden it said that Drew, quote unquote, actually, or apparently, allegedly, filed for divorce 61 minutes before he did. So I don't know what they're trying to do. Get ready, set, go to the courthouse. I don't know what happened, but baby, who filed first? I'm not sure. So I decided, he was like, you know what? I actually want to do a little bit more digging when it comes down to this, but I want to read a few things before I do a little bit more digging. Try to get a little bit more digging going. Okay, you guys, make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Thumbs up this video. Thank you. All right, now it says here. Now this is brought to you guys by the Shade Room. Now it says, now I'm going to read the article. It says, it looks like things may be coming to an end when it comes down to Drew Sidora and Ralph Pittman marriage. Now, so according to documents obtained by @People, Ralph's request for a divorce was officially received on Monday, and the couple's separation date has been listed as early as last Thursday. The documents state that there is no chance or hope of reconciliation. Now it says here, Drew and Ralph officially tied the knot back in 2014, and they share 2 children together. Drew also has a child from a previous relationship. Over the past few years, the dynamics of Drew and Ralph's marriage was showcased on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now let's talk about that for 2.5 seconds. A lot of people lived for Ralph. To be completely honest, Mm, in terms of Drew, I had high hopes for Drew on the show when she first got there. Because of this comment right here. Here we go. Because of this comment, I only knew her from Derwin, from Derwin on the game saying Drew Sidora. I haven't watched her on this reality TV. Okay, so the first part is the reason why I had high hopes for Drew. Now, the reason I had high hopes for Drew because I used to watch the game too. Like my sister used to be very obsessed with it, so I had no choice but to watch. Eventually, I got invested into it. I was like, okay, I like the show. You know, I'm living for it. The storylines was cute. I was here for it. I was like, yes, ma'am. I was here for it. But then, you know, me seeing her on the show, and of course, me knowing her as an actress and realizing that the person that she portrays, of course, may not be the person that she is in real life. I was like, you know, she's a familiar face. I was excited to see her on the show. But when she actually got on the show, there was a whole bunch of movie stunts that she pulled. Like, and what I mean by movie stunts is that it seemed like for me that a lot of her quote unquote moments, and I'm using quotation marks, it seemed like they were forced. It seemed like it was her doing the most. It seemed like it was her trying to make a moment out of something extremely small. Now I do understand you're on a reality TV show, and I do understand there is a part of you that is, of course, being authentic, being genuine, but at the same time, it's a part of you that you just might amplify, because especially once you start to hear the interviews of people being in the reality TV business, and of course getting out and officially leaving, which means that they're more likely to tell the honest truth, because it's like, I ain't never got to go back there. So let's just give it all out, set it all. And to hear the stories of someone like a Tammy Roman, like for me, gave me perspective of saying that, you know, in real life, some things I probably wouldn't, you know, really care about so much. But however, since we're filming and stuff, I would literally say things like, you know, you need to go talk to her because she got you fucked up. So it's like, you know, you're being genuine, but at the same time, you're kind of being strategic as well. But my thing is this, after I said all of that, it's just that with her on the show and her relationship, all those things, everything was cringy. But at the same time, I'm aware as well too. I'm aware that when you're on a show, reality TV show, that first season, 9 times out of 10 for most people, is gonna, especially when the cast has already been established, the brand has already been established, it's gonna be a bit rough. It's gonna be rough. But Drew, the second season, people tend to like her more, but I was kind of disappointed in Drew the first season. I would say even this season, it's really cringy to me. But let's continue. Let's get a little bit more. Let me see. So yeah, that was brought to you guys by the Shade Room. Let me continue. Now this is what it says here. Now it says initially it was reported. Now this is brought to you guys by Hollywood Unlocked. Initially it was reported that Ralph Pittman made the first move to file for divorce from wife Drew Sidora, but according to the latest reports, she beat him by 61 minutes, not an hour, but an hour and 1 minute. I know that's right, girl. So when I was actually reading this and stuff, I was like, you know what? I think it's time to get just a tad bit deeper. Now, the first thing I did think, I was like, could this be a storyline? Could this be a storyline? I know, because everything on them, about them gives forced. Everything about them, at least from what I've seen and witnessed, it gives forced. It gives cringy. I don't know. Let me see. Now Anya says this. I'm just glad she filed first, and I didn't even watch one episode of Housewives with her on it. Girl, she was so cringy. At least for me, she was cringy for me, because I was like, girl, why are you doing all of this? I don't know. But let me share something with you guys, because I was like, you know what? This story, because especially because, like, okay, so at first I was actually thinking about going live and, you know, talking about the situation much earlier, but it seemed like the more I started to wait, the more the story started to actually develop. So you're like, you know what? I want to see Blake, all this other stuff. You know, I'm going to let all these stories develop, and then we're going to get into the tea. But I was like, you know what? We're going to talk about some things. Let me see. Let me do this. Yeah. I make sure you got thumbs up this video. It really does help with the algorithm. So now we have an article here. Let me make sure everything's going correctly. Bam, there we go. So now we have an article here. Now this is by People. Now it says Sidora claims husband is a serial cheater, caused mental abuse in amended divorce filing. Girl, this about to get cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Now it says here, Sidora claimed that she could no longer take the blatant disrespect of her estranged husband, Ralph Pittman, according to court documents obtained by the People. Now I will say this. Initially, I was like, could this be a storyline? At first, I was like, could this be a storyline? But then I thought about it. I actually seen a clip where, oh, my sound is breaking up, girl. My sound is always breaking up, girl. What about now? Do I sound clear? Got to make sure. That's the reason why I got to make sure everything's on good. Do I sound clear? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Do I sound clear? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Do I sound clear? Look in the chat if I sound clear. Make sure I sound good. What about now? Oh, you going in and out? Okay, so it kind of freezes up. Last time it happened with you unplugged your mic, it was better. Honestly, I think the thing is that I don't know what's going on. I really have no clue. But I want to make sure before I proceed, because I want to make sure everything's going good. I sound clear? La 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 la, little static and in and out. So yeah, we're gonna take the mic out, girl. I don't know what's going on, girl. Hold up, y'all. Oh, it says good on my end. Hold up. Give me. I'm back. All righty, so we're gonna try this one more time. I try something a little different. If it happens again, yeah, I will take the mic. I will unplug the mic. Okay. So to make sure. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Do I sound clear? Because on somebody's end, I sound clear. On other people's end, I'm going in and out. So want to make sure before I proceed. Bye. I might just unplug it. Let me see. But in the meantime, y'all make sure you guys thumbs up. This video really does help out with YouTube's algorithm. No? Okay, so I'm just going to unplug it. Wait, do I sound good? That's a no. It's still static? Okay, so I'm just take it out. 2.5 seconds. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Can you guys hear me? Oh, good. It's sweating. All right, so now we have, where are we? Bye. Now I know now at this point I done unplugged it. So bye. We're gonna get it together, okay? So now we have the people's. There we go. Let me get myself together over here. I sound clear or still staticky? Let's see what the people saying. Yeah, way better. Gotcha. So we have choice but do it like this. I'm gonna see what's going on with my mic. All right, so we have the People's magazine. Let me see. Let me go there. Now it says here, Sidora has lodged an explosive set of allegations against estranged husband Ralph Pittman. Now it says claiming in an amended divorcing filing that he's a serial cheater and adulterer who abused her mentally, financially, and at one point got physically aggressive with her. Now here's the thing. Now, I'm gonna say this because okay, so that's what I was saying before the whole sound thing happened. It's going out again. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Let me maybe this is what's going on. Let me see what's going on. Let me try to figure this out real quick. Let me see. What about now? What's going on, y'all? I don't know what's going on. No, it sounds good. Okay, just want to make sure. Got to make sure now. Keeping up with you. Okay, so I'm gonna continue. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say before the whole sound thing ended up happening. Now, in terms of when it comes down to Drew, I ended up saying it's like the speak. Oh, okay, got you. So when I was like on watching the show, whatever, I didn't realize because it was just so funny. I think maybe because the current status of their relationship is happening. I ended up seeing a clip where Drew was on the actual show of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I forgot which season, which one it was, but she was on the show and she was explaining why she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. And then it showed many clips of her throughout the show, and she never has it on. So a part of me was like, is this a storyline? But then a part of me was like, I don't know. It's a possibility it could be a storyline, but it's also a possibility that this could be real life. But especially after claims like this, and he's a cheater and stuff, and adulterer, which is kind of which could be quite believable because on the show he had a situation with a woman, but once again everything's so cringy with them, so only God knows if it was actually genuine. But the point to say that he was physically aggressive with her, that's a big allegation. Now, so the Real Housewives of Atlanta star and actress known for The Game and Step Up first filed for divorce on Monday, an hour before Pittman filed for his own set of paperwork to legally end their marriage. In her initial complaint, filed as an uncontested divorce, Sidora simply stated their marriage was inevitably. Oh, girl, now it was broken. Girl, now it says she now in her amended complaint, in her amended complaint obtained by People and filed in Gwinnett County Superior Court on Wednesday, claims that she simply cannot take Pittman's continued blatant disrespect and mental abuse any longer. A rep for Pittman did not immediately respond to People's request for comment on Sidora's claims. Among Sidora's allegations, according to the documents, was that Pittman committed repeated uncondoned adultery during the marriage and even allowed his multiple paramours to have direct contact with her so that they could flaunt their relationship with him. Girl. It's just ghetto. Now it says, in one instance outlined in their complaint, Sidora claimed that a woman had an unmitigated gall and audacity to screenshot and send sexting messages directly to her and Pittman. Once confronted with the text messages, Sidora said her husband requested they attend marriage counseling where he professed his love for her. Girl, I would have Sparta kicked him in the chest. At this point, we're not gonna be sitting up here talking about our love for each other. What we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be tussling and fighting and windmilling. That's what we're gonna be doing. That's the perfect time to Sparta kick him in his chest because he tried it. And here's the thing, too, it's like, sir, you're married. That's one. Two, I do understand that when it comes down to having more notoriety, becoming more notable, having more star power, whatever that may be in any regard, comes more temptation. But you also have to be smart enough to also know people will do anything for clout. It doesn't matter how much clout that it is. It could be big clout. It could be small clout. People will do anything for clout or attention. So you also have to be aware that if you do, quote unquote, decide to dibble, dab, go in and out of relationships, dibble and dab with different women, there's a possibility that that's going to end up on the front street. I'm just saying. So you got to be much smarter than that and more integral if these allegations are true. Now it says here, Sidora went on to allege in the papers that her husband's cruel treatment had accelerated and gotten progressively worse last month. Now it says, during one argument, Sidora claimed in the filing, Pittman allegedly grabbed her cell phone out of her hand, which caused her to fall to the floor. He then literally peeled the phone out of her hand aggressively, he claimed. After she asked for her cell phone back, Pittman allegedly screamed, he paid the cell phone, girl, and the phone belonged to him. And this is the reason why. And then, yeah, y'all need to get into these different conversations, wondering why, quote unquote, not being independent. And by the way, I'm not saying that Drew is or isn't, but I'm speaking to this point directly. This is the reason why you need to be independent or self-sufficient. So when you have situations like this, at least the person can't throw in your face that I did this. That's the reason why I feel like I have the unmitigated. What is said in the article, in the unmitigated gall and audacity to think that I can take this cell phone from you, girl. Where was I? Because that just pissed me off. And the phone belonged to him. She then called 911, but the police did not arrive. The documents stated Sidora later obtained a new cell phone. Pittman's alleged action, Sidora said in the docs, led her to have a reasonable, justified apprehension for her emotional health and for the mental and emotional health of the children. Now, girl, no. It says Anaya 5, Makai 7, and Josiah 11. The latter, a son Sidora has from a previous relationship. In fact, she says she considered filing an application for a temporary protective order against Pittman and flying with her children to Chicago where they could feel safe. Girl, this is a lot. Now it says here, additionally, Sidora claimed in the complaint that Pittman has been financially abusive throughout their marriage, including during the week of February 13th, where he allegedly withdrew a large sum of money from her business bank account across multiple days. Look, girl, when I tell you, I would have been Sparta kicking him in his chest. I would have Sparta kicked him dead in his chest. No shade. Dead in the chest. Now, I'm going to continue. This is the television personality claimed that he had asserted himself into all of her business affairs and had taken control of all of her business and personal finances. And I would have been personally, I would have handled my business and personally whooped his ass or got somebody to do it. Now, according to the documents, Pittman had access to her business funds and spent more than at least 50% or more of all income that Sidora earned during the marriage under the guise of paying household bills. He also allegedly squandered hundreds of thousands of dollars of a personal injury settlement received by his wife. So, and girl, I wonder what settlement that was, because on the show, she always had a broken foot. That's just no shade. I'm not even trying to be funny, but she always had a broken foot for the most part. Now, so Sidora is certain that her income has paid most of the household bills throughout the duration of the marriage. She adds, Pittman has wiggled his way into every work project that Sidora has in an effort to keep himself on camera for Real Housewives of Atlanta and elsewhere as much as possible. Girl, this is just a bit merch. I tell you, we would have been fighting up a storm. We would have tore that house up. Not these providers being abusive pretends to be shocked. Girl. You ain't lying. Now it says earlier Wednesday, Pittman released an exclusive statement to People about the end of his marriage. Now it says here, love is a beautiful thing, Pittman said. Unfortunately, we have made the difficult decision to move on to our next chapters. And independent of each other, Drew and I have decided to file for divorce. We have 3 amazing young children, and their mindset and growth is what is most important. As we navigate this difficult time, I ask that you please respect our privacy. In his divorce filing, filed as a contest. Okay, here's the thing. This was made last month. Because I was about to say something. I was about to say, this person over here is making allegations about you, and you talking about some privacy. You need to be over here refuting these claims. But I caught myself because it said that these were made. Oh no, it wasn't earlier Wednesday. So okay, so everything I'm saying is about because everything I'm saying makes sense. If you have allegations against you being abusive, and you have allegations against you being financially a leech, why all of a sudden you want privacy? Oh, no. With allegations like that, you need to be screaming, yelping, hollering, telling the truth, especially if these quote-unquote allegations aren't true. I'm just saying. You need to be yelping and hollering. But I'm going to continue. Now it says here, in his divorce filing filed as a contested divorce, something Sidora claimed in her amended complaint as in an effort to strike first in divorce court to embarrass and humiliate her, Pittman listed the couple's separation date as February 19th. Sidora claims that he had been separated since last Thursday, February 23rd. Her petition notes that there is no chance or hope for reconciliation between the spouses. Oh, I know that's right, girl. If these allegations are true. That says both want custody of their children. Now, this is where we have the issue. Now, this is where we're going to have the issue. Okay. I'm going to say this. This is where we're going to have the issue. Both want custody of their children. Now, the reason why this is the issue is because of this. If the allegations are true about him, he should not have that much access. Now, I do understand this. I do understand being a good parent can be compartmentalized. You can be an awesome parent, but a horrible spouse. I do know that. But if these allegations are true, if you have all these toxic traits, there is a possibility that you can pass those traits on to your children. Now, on the flip side, if these allegations are not true, because these are just strictly allegations as of right now, if these allegations aren't true, then if that means that Drew could possibly be a liar, then yeah, she would also be a very questionable candidate about who should have the children if you're willing to make up, not saying that she did or didn't, but you're willing to go this far to make up allegations against someone. Even though I don't think that she will lie about something like that, something like this. Now, the whole cheating thing, okay, I can see that for a storyline, but to actually do the whole abuse thing, I think that's a bit much. But I don't know. I'm gonna know. Now it says here, both want custody of their children. Pittman requesting joint legal and physical custody, while Sidora has asked for joint legal but temporary and permanent primary physical custody per the documents. Girl, that's a lot. That's a lot. Also, she wants to keep living in her home, doesn't want to pay Pittman's debts, and asks that he pay his share of child support. Her complaint says that Pittman should not be entitled to any alimony or spousal support from her due to his repeated and condoned adultery. Girl. This is a bit much, girl. Let me continue. Sidora and Pittman married in August 24. Oh, this okay. Come on, people don't play no games. Hold on, how much is it? Okay, I'm about to say how much do I left, girl? Because girl, this is be merch. Now it says here, Sidora and Pittman married in August 2014. 6 years later in 2020. What the hell? Okay, yeah, there we go. 6 years later in 2020, Sidora made her debut in Real Housewives of Atlanta season 13. Many of the couple's marital woes leading up to the divorce have been seen on the Bravo series. Last year, Sidora discovered a suspicious text message between her. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of what was actually shown in the show. Suspicious text message between her husband and his female assistant, who was later fired. Finding out my husband was getting close with his assistant was really hard for me, she said on the show. I packed up my kids and we went to Chicago. I literally ran away from home. So they also said she wanted Pittman to respect the relationship. Now here's the thing too, because also on the show, because I don't know if they actually gonna say this, but also on the show as well, Ralph actually went to Tampa. I think it was Tampa. It was somewhere up in Florida. He hopscotched his ass all the way down to Florida, and while she was up in Atlanta. Now, keep in mind that him going to Tampa most definitely felt like storyline. And this goes back to what I said earlier. It felt like everything was kind of cringy when it came down to Drew Sidora, but it came out very storyline-ish because he hopscotched, cartwheeled his ass back to Florida, and she doesn't know what he did, who was there, what happened, and he always avoids the answer every time she asks him that question of where were you, why were you in Tampa, who was there. He never actually answers the question. He always gets upset, and the way that she handled the situation, it came off like, okay, this was storyline-ish. Because how are you not upset? And on top of that, how do you not suspect that there was no type of inappropriate behavior or infidelity? Or, I'm going to say this, or it could have been given some Robin Dixon tease to where, because keep in mind, throughout this whole article, it's literally been saying that condoning adultery, he's been dipping and dabbing with other women, allegedly. So it could have been some Robin Dixon tease to where, you know what, I'm going to address the situation. We're going to bring it to the forefront, but we're not going to talk about the real life truth of what's going on in the situation. I'm just saying. But I'm going to continue. Where was I? And yes, now it says here, despite their challenges, Sidora told BT last June that the pair plan to continue fighting for their marriage. And it says here, and I quote, I thought it was just, oh wait, girl. I thought it was like Cinderella, like a happily ever after. And so we thought that what it was going to be. She said, my parents who have been married for like 60 years made it look so easy. I'm like in a situation where we have children. We're moving to a new city. Life is happening and people are growing as well as changing. She continued, it's hard because sometimes you like, do I need to stay in this marriage or am I better off by myself? Then I think, then I think to myself, when two people commit and you continue committing to each other, what can we do to fix this? You're switching counselors to find the right one, but we're committed, and I think that's what keeps people together. The actress also noted that it's perfect, but it's perfect. Wait, look, the actress, oh damn, that really tripped me up. The actress also noted that it's not that it's perfect, but I'm not perfect, and God knows he's not perfect. But they keep doing the work nonetheless. Girl, that was just a tongue tire for me. Okay, so that was a lot. Now keep in mind, that's the first time I read that in front of y'all. So I want to keep this actually very genuine, kind of like a very I'm gonna say like a okay.
Okay, so look,
I got stuff in the background. Okay, so here's the thing. When it comes down to, there is a possibility at first before I read that article, and I'm glad I did. Oh, I'm glad I did. she know that what he was doing and who he was with, cheating and with some other hoe. Girl. Sipping with me says, hey everybody, today is my birthday. Oh, come on. Let's sing happy birthday for Sipping for me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sipping with me. Happy birthday to you. Yay! That was good. Happy birthday, sipping with me. What's going on with you? How you feeling? Blessed to be here another year and many more years to come, baby. But let me say this. When it comes down to this whole Drew situation and Ralph, it's like this. At first, I was like, no, this could be a storyline, but at the same time, once I read that article and it gave me more in-depth understanding of what's going on between them and their marriage and all this other stuff, I don't know. I'm not really sure if this is so much a storyline at this point, only because it's one thing for you to be able to, talk about a man cheating or, saying he cheated or he cheated in our marriage and stuff. That's something that's always been a storyline, within reality TV. Kirk and Rashida has done it. Who is somebody else that got cheated on? But the whole franchise of Love Hip Hop has done it. It's more normal. But to actually play around or to make allegations about someone being physically abusive or emotionally abusive, etc. Now those are some extremely strong allegations. Cheating in the reality TV world is like, that happens on a regular Tuesday. But physical abuse, domestic violence, that's something different. I'm just saying. Now, that's something different. So, it seems like this situation is only going to get just a tad bit messier because now they're fighting over the custody of the children. Who's going to have custody of the children? And then not only that, one side is saying that he should not have alimony or have any type of support, and he needs to pay child support because he was cheating and putting his piece of wood anywhere else. So I don't know. This is gonna get a bit crazy. Now I don't know if they're gonna talk about this stuff on the show or not, but baby, now before, keep in mind, y'all, I wasn't really a big fan of Drew, but if that's gonna be her storyline, now that's gonna be one juicy, hard-hitting storyline that can really put her in that first chair when it comes down to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. No shade. No shade. Baby. Come on, yes. Come on, Logicians. We glad to be with you too. I know, right? Okay, so we're gonna do like a smaller intermission. I actually want to play a commercial for you guys because before I proceed to the next topic. But that's all I really had to say about Drew Sidora. Now, I do want to do a small little intermission. Let me do this. Now, what I'm going to play right here. Oh God. Oh God. Okay, so what I'm going to play right here, we're going to have a small intermission before I proceed to my next topic. What is going to be right now, I'm going to be playing a promo. The wrong screen name. Ooh, now you got, come on, different names. I know that's right. But okay, what I was going to say is that when it comes down to, I'm actually running promo to where you guys be able to promote your businesses or different products or anything that you have, that you're selling, that you want to promote. I'm going to be lending out my platform as it continues to grow. You guys will have the opportunity to have more exposure and reach different people that you probably never would have reached, because you never know who you may come across. You get what I'm saying? Different customers, different airways. Now, the first thing I'm going to be doing, this is actually a promo for a fitness journal. Now, if anybody has not been keeping up with the Reckless Bureau, on the Reckless Bureau, I have one of the pennants by the name of Terry. And he actually makes fitness journals where you're able to keep up with your fitness journey and also track your journey along the way. And this journal, you can actually buy this journal and purchase this journal on Etsy, and you actually have a login code, a code that gives you like I'm gonna say a discount code. The discount code is Logicc. So let's get ready to play that, and then I'm gonna continue. All right, so now we're back from that. So yes, the 50% off code is Logicc. So make sure you guys check that out if you guys are interested. And also, if you guys want to be able to promote your business or any products on my platform, just hit me up on Instagram, and then you'll be able to get more details on that. All right, so let's get back into the show, girl. Get into it. So after all of that, now we have another person that we need to talk about, girl, here we go. Here come with the foolishness. Now we have Malaysia Pargo and the basketball wives. So it has been a topic that Malaysia is apparently leaving basketball wives. Girl, now she was a fan favorite. Now she's a fan favorite. She's not my fan favorite, but she's a fan favorite. But let's see what's going on. Now, this is brought to you guys, of course, by my favorite, the Jasmine brand. Let's see what she had to say. Okay, so I want to read a few comments before I get into this, because I think me and Anya on the same thing. No, one person says self-care is the best care. Clapping emojis. Another person says, me personally, I think it's time they let basketball wives go as a whole. Another person says they need to let the whole show go as a whole. They should cancel the show. It's time. It's time to cancel the whole show. Shani got her bag. It's time. Another person says, how is this show still on? Isn't Jackie the only one married to a retired NBA player and Duffy married to an NBA agent? Another person says, I liked her pre-link up with the Get Fresh crew, Evelyn and Shani, but she was down with the mistreatment of OG too. We're going to get into that, girl. Another person says, no dollar amount is worth your mental health. Good for her. I'm going to read one more, then we're going to get into what the hell we need to get into. Yes, she made the right decision, even though when she and her crew ganged up on Jennifer and OG, it was okay. But now the tables have turned. She can't take that type of pressure, and she can give it. Girl, bye. Okay, so let's talk about what the hell we need to talk about, because we're gonna get into some names. We're going to get into some things, okay? So let me just put this thing back up for you. Let me just do this real quick, because Malaysia, she tried it. Now, I do understand this. I do understand you being able to walk away from situations or not being a mammy for the bad. Girl, that is a key. That is a key. But I do understand you walking away from situations because it's toxic. I do understand you walking away from, people and environments because it's just a bit much, and you do have to worry about your own safety and well-being. And sometimes you got to worry about the safety and well-being of others. But let me say this. So OG responded online, and she basically, spelled out, I want to say, now by the way, I'm paraphrasing. She spoke out and reacted to Malaysia apparently leaving the show, where she said that, be graceful. She said something about karma or whatever. Hold on, y'all. Whatever. Hold up, y'all. Water break. Okay, so that's what OG has said. So let's get into what the real thing is. Here's my thing with Malaysia. For one, Malaysia was never really my favorite person on the show. Personally, she was never really my favorite. Personally, and I never really had a favorite on the LA basketball wives, but as time went on, I liked Jackie more personally. As time went on, of course, once she started to be portrayed more in a good light, once the franchises merged. But I'm gonna say this, in terms of Basketball Wives and turning, completely taking Basketball Wives off, it's time to hang it up. Now, don't get me wrong. The show would still have potential only because Jackie Christie is still present on the show. Now, if Jackie was not on the show, then it's a confirmed this show needs to come off the air. But I will say this as well. When it comes down to the show, everybody's just about gone. Evelyn is gone. Tammy is gone. I really didn't care for Shawnee. I didn't care if she was there or not. But OG's gone. CC, Krista, all of the girls that really brought, I guess, a lot of traction to the franchises and like the shows, they're just about gone. Unless they can really bring some girls or some Basketball Wives that really spice things up, it might be time for those shows to kind of get kicked off the air or canceled or just have the last season and bow out gracefully. Now, when it comes down to Malaysia, here's my thing with Malaysia. Because every season, it seems like, because Basketball Wives has always had this rap or this issue or this situation where they like to gang up on girls and really like to bully these girls. Every single season, that's the reason why the franchise in Miami got in trouble, because it was given bully-like behavior in terms of Tammy and also in terms of Evelyn. Even though I love Tammy, but in terms of Tammy and Evelyn, it was giving bully-like behavior to the other girls, and people wasn't really rocking with that. And also, I'm gonna say in LA as well. But here's the issue that I have with, I'm about to say Evelyn. The issue that I have with Malaysia, the issue I have with Malaysia is because when it was time for you to be on the flip side of bullying other people, you had no issue. You was actually having fun in the show. You was having fun being on the quote unquote winning team in terms of when it comes down to OG and Evelyn, Shawnee, etc. You had no issue being on that side and saying what you're saying and doing all those things. You had no issue being present, coming to work when you weren't on the receiving end of that pressure. But now that you're on the receiving end of that pressure, all of a sudden you want to bow out. All of a sudden you want to leave. All of a sudden you talk about self-care. But what happened to the self-care of Royce? What happened to the self-care of OG? What happened to the self-care of CC? What happened to the self-care of all these other girls? Even though I mentioned Royce, but I'm just proving a point. What happened to the self-care of all these girls that have been bullied or ganged up on within the dynamic of the group? What happened to the self-care of all of those girls? You see, it ain't funny when the rabbit got the gun. It's not funny. And the thing about it, and the thing that got me with Malaysia specifically is that, ma'am, you were literally the bulldog bodyguard for Evelyn and also Shawnee. Because we can be honest, Shawnee ain't gonna fight nobody. That's just to, let's just call it spec. Shawnee was not going to fight anybody. Evelyn, as much as she throws stuff, in my personal opinion, Evelyn ain't got no hands. Evelyn cannot fight to me. I honestly believe, and this is my own personal opinion, I honestly believe back in New York, Evelyn was getting her ass whooped. Or every single time she did have an opportunity to fight, she would either fight somebody that she knows that she can beat up, or she would do what she does on the show and do all the hoop-ha so people can get scared and not really have to fight. Or it looks like she wants to fight, but she really doesn't want to throw them hands. So you was really like the bodyguard and the hands, the person that can fight within the group when it came down to Shawnee and Evelyn. Essentially, you replaced Tammy's position, because that's really what they used Tammy for initially when they got cool. So, but the thing that gets me with Miss Malaysia is that you were literally the the bulldog for two people who didn't even want you on the show. They didn't even want you on the show. They didn't want you as part of the cast. They wanted to boot you out. And just to think that even on the show, when OG wasn't going for none of that, because also to keep in mind as well, OG was released from her contract. She didn't quit the show. She was released from her contract, which lets you know that she was going to stand in the paint 10 toes down. But when OG wasn't going for none of that and was going off on all of y'all, you literally told her to, actually, you literally asked her, no, you told her, why don't you just take it? That's what you said. Why don't you just take it? Bitch, why? How about I don't just lean back and just lean into this punch I'm about to give your ass to your forehead? What you mean just go back? Why don't you just take it? Why would you want OG to just take it? Just lay down, because essentially that's exactly what you did. Teaming up with the group that didn't even want you on the show, that Miss Shawnee O'Neal basically essentially told you to your face, directly to your face, that you have no substance. Evelyn said, the reason why I'm here is because they promised that you weren't going to be here. Bye-bye. You literally sat on the show and threw your own family member, Cece, up under the bus, allowed Evelyn to attack her on multiple occasions, allowed Evelyn to call her Ling Ling on the show. Yeah, I don't know about all of that feeling bad and all the other stuff. Don't get me wrong. I always have I always had empathy and sympathy for people that go through stuff, and I do understand people change, but it's like, girl, you done did too much, and now it's like, okay, so now this is, and I think that's the thing about it too. It's the fact, or at least to my knowledge, it's the fact that you never apologized to OG. At least to my knowledge, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. But even then, for OG to come out and speak out, that lets you know, at least for me, and I could be speaking from a place of ignorance, as in certain parts of this story I probably didn't, or parts of their relationship I didn't see. But for OG to speak out and say and to say what she said, to me, that speaks that either that apology, if Malaysia ever gave OG an apology, it was performative. It was just for the cameras, because they were getting the franchise was getting a lot of heat because there was a colorism issue very present. Now I do understand OG wasn't perfect. I understand that, but neither was Malaysia, neither was Kristen, neither was CC, neither was any other, neither was Tammy. None of them was innocent. But yet, people did not hold Evelyn and all these other people to the same standard. No shade. I'm just saying. So let's move on. But essentially I will say this is that when it comes down to you and your mental health and stuff, you always come first. So if she felt like the best decision for her was to leave the show, then kudos to her, because at the end of the day, yes, even though I said all of those things, your mental health does come first, especially when, I understand you may start something, you may have a dream for it, you may like it, you're like, oh, this is fun, it gets really, it has a lot of benefits to it. You get notoriety, you get paid to do it, you get you get a spark from it, it brings in, it has its benefits, but then over some time you get accustomed to those benefits, and also over some time you just kind of get tired of the same stuff every single day. So I do understand people moving on and going to different chapters, but that's good for her. But let's move on to Loreal. Now Loreal ended up
Mocking me because of my
yeah, baby. So Loreal was on her podcast, and they were. I forgot who the other lady was. Don't judge me. Loreal was on her podcast, and while she was on her podcast, she was speaking on Michael B. Jordan, basically saying that they went to school together, and she essentially directly called him corny, called him a corny dude. Now, here's the thing. That situation didn't just end there because Loreal actually, hold up, y'all. Let me see. Yeah. So Loreal actually was doing a red carpet interview with Michael B. Jordan, and he kind of like, I want to say checked on it, but he kind of let her know that, I heard what you said. He was like, I see you. But let me see what we got here. Let me take this down.
And we know each other. We go way back all the way to.
So yes, so this is after the podcast. look, his face says it. I was like, girl, stop talking to me. But I was gonna say, this is after she did her podcast, and that clip got released, and he heard it, obviously.
Chad Science in Newark, okay?
The corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name, but yeah, he is obviously killing things out here. And we know each other. We go way.
Baby, baby. The way he was like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably something I would have done. Like I probably would have did something like that as to let it be known, like, I heard what you said. Because to be completely honest, it's not enough to like be like extremely mad about, but at the same time, you ain't gonna be sitting, especially if you say that you knew me and all this other things, you're not gonna be sitting up in my face trying to get an interview, especially if I'm quote unquote rising above new levels when it comes to my stardom and me getting a star and all these other things. So with that being said, yeah, I'm gonna be very subtle about me addressing it, but I'm gonna mention it to let you know. Okay, I heard that. Girl, that was good. But Loreal actually did clear the air about some things that was said to her as a reaction from the general public. Now, this stuff was harsh, so I'm just warning you right now, okay?
That people are saying to me, like,
now this is what people had to say. Now it says Loreal clears the air and says she never called Michael B. Jordan corny or bullied him in school. We made fun of each other. Now, from the clip, honestly, because I kind of heard it like a while back, I remember her saying corny, but I don't know if I cut it off too soon. But I don't remember her saying bullied him in school, but apparently that's what other people heard. And people are now saying that she's backtracking. But this is what also people had to tell her up in her comment section and to her DMs, etc.
Like, they hope I get raped and killed and popped in my head, so it's one last be in the world. Like, I just think, like, if you were upset because you thought I called him corny and those are the things that you're rebuttaling with, it's like the crime and the punishment, that if that's what you thought I said, it doesn't even match up. Like, how is that okay? The narrative is definitely still pushed. I feel like I admitted exactly what I said. And then even those words got turned around. When I told the story, it was super lighthearted. It wasn't even in the sense of me breaking down the entire school experience. FYI, we went to school together for 1 year. So the narrative that I bullied him all throughout high school, this was 7th grade. We were like 12 years old and everybody made fun of each other. And then like, I would get joked on because of my complexion. And, I went to a predominantly Black school. So it's like, white girl, oh, your boy, that people are saying to me, like, they hope I get raped. We made fun of each other. That was school, that was 1 year. Again, I've never bullied him. That just sounds so outrageous to me. Like me bullying Michael B. Jordan his whole life. Wouldn't we have heard about this before this? Yeah, I do feel like he took everything out of it. It gave the Will Smith thing where it's like, you know, he's heard numerous people probably call him this before because this is not something we haven't heard, right? I just never said it. I've defended him numerous times just because of the fact that I did have a rapport with him. And I never said we were best friends. I never said, you know, we were cool. And that was just that. So when I was even asked to do the carpet, I did it because I'm like, oh, this is a big moment for him. And I thought it would be dope. Just the fact that, you know, I did know him when he was young. And it just went totally left. I didn't expect it to go like that. And stop talking because of my.
Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't think this situation was that big of an issue. I'm gonna say to the point to where now I can understand the whole Michael B. Jordan thing. It's like, girl, get about my face. I don't care about all that. But to the point to where people are actually in her DMs, messages, or what? I don't know how she got these messages or these comments that she probably seen or got directed towards, whatever. But to people that to say that they hope that she gets sexually violated, or to say things along the lines of that she was to be executed and stuff, that's too much. That's too much. And that's just a bit much for the situation. But it goes a little bit more. Let me see what. Hey, Moesha, let me see what you're saying over here. I wouldn't be subtle at all. It's all the white chicks. Oh, you want to talk about mothers, moments for life. I'll see be on hate. I know that's right. Anya says, I'm from New York, and my cousin was a teacher at Chad Science that when it was open, and she said Michael B. Jordan was definitely picked on for being the nice boy that wanted to be down. Ooh, baby. Now she backpedaled. Well, she already backpedaled because, girl, to say that you never called him corny. Now, I know for a fact you said that because I heard you say it. Now, the context of what you said it probably, but then again, at the same time, you literally just admitted it in this video without actually admitting it indirectly. So you call him corny. You're not backpedal. You shouldn't backpedal. Just own it. Be like, yeah, I call him corny. And you could probably try to clear it up, as in, like, you know, try to clarify a little bit more. But girl, I don't know. But if Anya's saying that he was definitely picked on, who's to say? Now, girl, I'm not gonna say she was part of it, but girl, and this is the reason why you got to be careful of the way you treat people, because the people you see going up are the same people you're gonna have to see going down. Or sometimes the same people you trying to keep them down and while you in high school, but once you guys graduate, they on their way up and you on your way to your 9 to 5. And there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, but when you are to bully somebody and completely critique somebody and completely disrespect somebody and make them feel like less than, and this is not even direct towards her, this is direct towards the people that was picking on Michael B. Jordan, and then to see the person that you violated or you made fun of, and to see them be extremely successful compared to some of your peers, it's kind of like it's kind of like an underdog type of situation. The person that they least thought was going to make it made it. And that's not to say that other people didn't make it. Bye-bye. Michael was definitely low-key bullying. Most of the time he was nice. Most of the time, nice people are, though. And most of the time it was nice people are, though, or he was most of the time nice to people, though. What can you clarify that last statement for me, Anya? All right, but let me continue because this just gets even more out of control. Let's get into the other hypocrisy of this this bad boy here. This girl, this here just pissed me off. Okay, so she has something to say. Meanwhile, Yvette Nicole Brown says Loreal got what she deserved after her awkward encounter with Michael B. Jordan. So that's what she said. She got what she deserves. Bullies always want to rewrite history. Nope. Keep that same energy, boo boo. Now, I do agree with her. Now, when I said that this situation gets worse, I totally forgot about this right here. But I do agree with her. Don't try to read now. If this would now, if she was the person that actually bullied him. And by the way, the way that he's looking, girl, it could have some truth, no shade. Then yeah, don't try to rewrite history. No, remember, I was all of these things, and now I'm not messing with you no more. Y'all make sure you guys thumbs up. Now, Rumors of T said this: Loreal light skin privilege and being at a private school definitely made her think she was a part of the it crowd. And I understand Michael's attitude towards her. He doesn't F with her, and I wouldn't F with it either. If everything that's being said is true. Then the nice corny ones are picked on. Yep. And this is the girl, I'm not even gonna go there. Because what I was about to say was gonna sound a little bit of red pillish in a sense of this is the reason why I'm gonna say at least the dudes that I've talked to, I spoke with, like my friends and stuff. A lot of times when I start to talk to them, I'm like, why are you such an asshole? Like, why are you so mean? Like, why do you treat women like crap? Like I really try to understand their psychology, and I actually every single time I've actually went down that rabbit hole with them and actually found out that a lot of times it was rejection from a woman because the bad boy got the girl, or he didn't look this way, or he was too nice, or he was quote unquote corny and all these things. And so there is some truth to that. No shade. At least from the people that I've spoke to, there's some truth to that. No shade. All right, so let's continue. So Joe Budden decided to Joe Bud his way into the conversation. So Joe Budden shares his thoughts on the Michael B. Jordan red carpet incident. That was corny of him to speak to that girl like that. Now, this is what Joe Budden had to say.
Let me tell
Dog, you doing that to a girl is some corny.
I can see that.
You being Michael B. Jordan today, allegedly sexiest man alive in all of these blockbuster movies.
I agree.
During your highlight week, you've probably never been more visible than you are right this second. And that's what you do to her. And if I bring back them white girl rumors, then it's going to sound even crazier. Because why are you talking to our sisters like that on the red carpet? We only talking to white people like that. But I'm not going to make it racy. They say I make everything racy. That was corny of him to speak to that girl like that.
I'm not disagreeing. I would have made
Michael B. Jordan. That's why I call you corny.
Off air. I would have made a joke off air like, word.
Hey, Creed.
You know
what's his name?
I wouldn't have did that in front of
Hey, Creed. In case you were confused, that corny shit you did is why I think you corny.
Yeah.
In case you were off a little bit as to why you just keep thinking that money hides corny.
Let me tell
Dog, you doing.
Is this the okay, so let's get into because girl, we gonna get to some things when it comes down to this. Okay, here's the thing. I'm confused. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm confused. I'm confused because when did Joe Budden get into the business of protecting Black women? When did Joe Budden get into the industry business of shielding Black women from disrespect? When did Joe Budden stop being the author of disrespect to Black women? So now all of a sudden, we're in the business of protecting Black women in this incident, but yet 2.5 seconds earlier, weren't you just shitting on Megan Thee Stallion? Disrespecting Megan Thee Stallion? Going in on Megan Thee Stallion? Weren't you over here being extremely disrespectful to your baby mamas or your girlfriends? Because I really don't know the status of the women that he actually disrespected. And the toxicity that you have behaved in, sir. And then on top of that, the way he reacted, he didn't call her out her name. He didn't use any type of derogatory language, at least from the stuff that I've seen personally. He didn't disrespect her. He kind of just kept that same energy. He didn't even really do anything bad. He was like, yeah. But let me say this. Anya says Joe Budden and Michael B. Jordan have behind the scenes drama. The people for the bricks know this. Joe Budden and Michael B. Jordan were both supposed to be at a give back in Newark, and Joe Budden didn't want to take part in it because Michael B. Jordan was a bigger star in the city. Let it be known too. Oh, so then, girl, this is the reason why a lot of people shouldn't even have podcasts. There's no shade. Water break. This is the reason why a lot of people should not have podcasts. Reason being is because don't come over here hating just because you have beef with this man and trying to make a situation bigger than what it really is, at least on his behalf. Now, I can understand people coming out the woodworks, as in supporters, fans, etc., coming out the woodworks saying all that crazy stuff to her. I can understand all of that. But to think what, at least from my perspective, what I just seen, and you trying to demonize this man over him kind of passive aggressively addressing and let her know that I heard what you said. And then on top of it, when you take into context their history of, and especially from what is being portrayed to me, at least right now, him being picked on by her. So it's one thing for you to pick on me, to bully me, pick on me, call me corny, pick on me, whatever, bully me in the past. And then now you're in the media calling me corny. And now on top of that, the biggest night of my life, you on the red carpet and you want to have an interview with me and you think we're not going to address those things? No, baby, we're going to address it. Now, I may not call you out your name, but we're going to address it. I'm going to let you know I heard what you said. And so that right there is a bad signal to let you know I don't mess with you like that. I'm not going to disrespect you, but I don't mess with you like that. So me and you are clear on both of our positions. Because if you think I didn't hear it and try to smile in my face is one thing. But if you know that I heard it, you know it's going to be hard for you to smile in my face because it's going to make you uncomfortable. Because you know what I know. And Joe Budden, stay up out of here. And plus on top of that, be completely honest, I used to watch Joe Budden when he first started. I was like, okay, I think I like this. But as time went on, I don't trust anything that comes out that man's mouth. He is not to be trusted. He does a lot of projection when it comes down to situation. He's very hypocritical. You sit up here talking about, oh, well, it's we can't. When it comes down to this, it's a race thing. But yet, when it came to Megan Thee Stallion, you was the main person, one of the main people, along with DJ Academics, sitting up here being ignorant when it comes down to race issues and the way that Black women are completely disrespected. You guys were just about the conductors of that train. Of that train wreck. No shade. But I'm gonna move on. Now we have another commercial. Bye-bye. So what I'm gonna do right now, we're gonna do another break. We're going, I have another commercial coming up for you guys. This is another promo. Now this promo here is going to showcase Billionaire Black Women. This is a organization business to where Black women can manifest the dreams and that they desire. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get straight into it. Billionaire Black Women, a community of Black women who are learning how to manifest the life they desire. A sisterhood of like-minded women who have similar goals and dreams. Billionaire Black Women offer structure and accountability for manifestation goals, educational resources such as on-demand classes, workshops, master classes, and more. Visit billionaireblackwomen.com for more information and join the free Facebook group. Billionaire Black Women, a community of Black women who are learning how to manifest the life they desire. A sisterhood of like-minded women who have Period. Girl, my fault over here, y'all. I mistakenly hit the wrong button again, girl. But yes, if you guys have a biz or a product or anything like that that you guys would love to promote and really get on this platform, just let me know. Hit me up on my Instagram. We can talk about it. I will send you more information on how we can get that going and what's the process and all those things. Now, by the way, y'all, Billionaire Black Women, that's actually a business and a program ran by another logician. It's Ev. Ev is usually in the comment section. I'm pretty sure she's probably not present today as of right now, but I'm pretty sure of course you guys are going to see her. But Ev, that's actually Ev, and this is her business where she actually helps Black women with their goals and the way that they want to operate in life and reach the next level within their lives. You guys can check out the Facebook group and also check out their website, her website, to be able to get more information on, how to achieve your goals and your desires and live the life that you want to live. So I really appreciate that. All right, so let's move on to the last 2 segments and I'm gonna get up out of here. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Mr. Chris Breezy. So Chris Breezy, so Chris Brown got into a altercation. No, girl, Chris Brown is always in some mess. Okay, let me take this bad boy down. Bam. Yeah, so Chris Brown got into an altercation with an artist. Now I don't know if he's actually an artist or whatever, but at this point, he got into it with somebody. Now this is the guy here. By the way, this is brought to you guys by the Shade Room, but this is Nabil Kid 1, whatever. This is the guy here that got into it with Chris Brown. Now down here it says, fight with Chris Brown. That's what the other guy said. Chris Brown said, you tucked your tail. You was scared to come outside. You would have been doing TikToks from the hospital bed. Weird behind Niagara. Now, the person says, I'm not Rihanna. He let it be known. You may have her scared. You may have all these other people scared. But when it comes down to me, I ain't her. Now, I'm not going to lie. The ignorant side of me, I gagged a little bit because, to be completely honest, I wasn't really expecting the person to say that, and it's kind of fucked up that I kind of did chuckle a little bit, but it caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting him to say that. No shade. Now, the only thing I really want to say about this altercation and stuff, to be completely honest, let's play it real quick. Oh, it was on the 2 seconds. But let me say this about this altercation. About Chris Brown, because it seems like a lot of stuff been going on with his energy around him or whatever. When it comes down to these colorist allegations, when it comes down to his temper, when it comes down to the whole Zeus Network and the Tommy Lee and the kids situation, when it comes down to this situation here, he needs to cleanse his energy and the people around him, and also cleanse himself, because if he actually does have colorist views and stuff, he needs to heal himself from that. And the reason why is because, for one, that's a character flaw. 2, when you are a celebrity and you have certain narratives surrounding your name, attached to your name, you also have to keep in mind there are people who are going to come up with allegations which may or may not be truthful to attach to your name to put gasoline on the fire, to add fuel to the fire. Just because they may want attention, they may want a lawsuit, and to think that a lot of times, a lot of celebrities just settle out of court because it makes it much easier for you to settle out of court because, baby, I have tour dates I have to get done. I have movies I have to do. I have other things that have to get done than me sitting up here worrying about being in court over something that's not even the truth. So this one of the reasons why you have to be careful of your name and the way that you walk. Now, I understand some things are inevitable, but he's going to have to cleanse the people in himself, because colorist views, if he actually does, it's still crackling. But if he actually has those views, then he's going to have to get those things together. When it comes down to the people around him, he's going to have to get it together as well. He's going to need some people that are extremely level-headed. Now, don't get me wrong. It has been some time since we've heard from Chris Brown, at least personally. But whatever he was doing before to kind of stay on that good, on that good road, he needs to continue to do that. No shade. But that's all I really have to say about that. I'm going to continue because, girl, Chris Brown needs to cleanse the energy around him and other people. Let me see. Desiree Perez and Rock Nation need to go to go get him. I'm tired of Christopher. No, that's what I think. It's gonna need a cleanse. He's gonna like legitimately need a cleanse. Now I'm not saying like he might need a spiritual one, but when I say a cleanse, as in reevaluate himself, the way that his temper is, the people around him. He's gonna have to detach from all negative things. Yeah, and that's the thing too, and that's another reason why I be getting mad, because he's a colorist, but I love his music. No shade. That's just me being honest. I love his music, but it's like I really do try to stick with, since you have colorist views, from what I've seen, if you have these views, it's gonna be hard for me to support your music. Personally. So I don't know, girl. I don't know, but let's move right along, girl, because I'm trying to keep this under 2 hours. All right. So now we got our residential, coon that we're gonna be talking about. So let's actually get into Miss Candace Owens. So this is brought to you guys by Hollywood Unlocked. Candace Owens. So Candace Owens says Black folks need to stop being openly racist towards both white and Black people. Hold up, socialites, how do you feel about this tweet? Now, before I even do all of that, first thing I want to get into the comment section. Let's see what the people are saying, because girl, this is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna talk about. Because girl, Candace Owens really irks my spirit, and she really makes me sometimes want to really just hit myself in the head at times. I'm like, girl, what the hell? And I'm gonna tell you the thing that gets me with Candace Owens is because she's very intelligent. The lady is smart, and just to think that she's not. Just to think that she's not using her wit, her vernacular, her vocabulary, her broad, expansive knowledge for good, that is what gets me. And for me, I feel like it's intentional. I purposely feel like it's intentional. Now, part of me does feel he has mixed up views about the way she views things, but I also think once she started to realize that her views and the way that she thinks get her money, then I feel like it's intentional as well. No shade. But let me continue. Now it says, funny how she didn't have that mindset when she sued those white people for racial discrimination. Number says, but she needed the Black community when she was experiencing racial trauma. Got it. Oh girl. Oh no, this Summer wrote a long thing, but we're gonna read it. Some people cannot be racist when they aren't the primary creators nor beneficiaries of the racism that. Okay, girl, that's too much to read, girl. That's too much. Now we're gonna say this. So she's saying if we don't stop being hostile, white folks won't come save us. And what community do she live in? She needs to take the word "our" out of that statement. She makes it clear she is not a part of our culture and fight. No shade. Nobody cares what Candace, oh my God, has to say. Oh, that's a good one. Come on, Candace. Now it says, can we stop hosting her and let that Fox News have her? Girl. Now I'm gonna read what she said. Now Candace tweeted this: Black Lives Matter set race relations back about 100 years. Black people need to stop being openly hostile and racist toward white people and other Black people, or don't complain when white people no longer wish to live, work, or police in our neighborhoods. Footnote: if this statement outrages you, you would do well to remember that I literally do not care how emotionally impacted you are from hearing the truth. Now, I just think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting because it's funny that all of a sudden she wants to blame racism on melanated people. For one, melanated bodies did not create the system of racism. Now, melanated bodies can be prejudiced, but racism is institutionalized. It's institutionalized through the systems that we have here on this whole entire globe. That's the reason why white supremacy is literally within every single continent and country here in the globe. It's institutionalized. So melanated people, melanated bodies cannot be racist. They can be prejudiced, but not racist. Because with racism, it comes power. You have to have the power and the authority when it comes down to racism, which is why laws are in place, which is why reinforcement is also put in place, aka police, military, etc. That's the reason why racism, melanated bodies cannot be racist through definition. But I want to read her comment again. I want to read it again. Let me see. Is she forgetting that black people are officers too? The fact that she thinks only white people could police and add positive to our neighborhood says a lot. Yep, just about. Now it says Black Lives Matter has set relations back about 100 years. Well, to be completely honest, you set us back about 100 years because you believe in nothing but respectability politics, which doesn't make any sense because it doesn't matter how many times you may try to straighten your hair. It doesn't matter how many times you may dress more professionally. It doesn't matter how many times, how well you speak. It doesn't matter how many times that you walk into business and don't quote unquote present yourself as ratchet or ghetto. It doesn't matter how many times you may showcase that you are actually qualified to be in certain spaces. Looking respectable and acting respectable is not going to save you when it comes down to non-melanated people within this country and also around the globe wanting to perpetuate racism against you as well. Because I also seen a clip of her where she was, now this is one thing I actually sided with her on this specific video, but there was a clip where she was in some type of hall, courtroom, whatever. She was with a judge. And she was talking to this judge, and the board, wherever this judge was or whatever, it seemed like they was trying to prosecute her and just about trying to find any and every way to discredit what she had said, whatever previous statement she had said. And that's how you know it's kind of bad, when I'm actually siding with Candace Owens. But it was just the fact that they weren't trying, the opposing side in this situation that I'm referring to was not trying to even hear Candace out and it was so eager to mix up her words. And the racism, the subtle racist behavior was so present in that room, and just for her to literally get on these platforms and just about say and deny racism, deny the effects of racism on a sociological perspective, psychological perspective, and for her to literally sit up here and shake her ass for white massa, figuratively for coin, is a huge slap in the face. And then you want melanated people to turn right back around and look out for you when you need help. When you need help. And then on top of that, let's actually talk about the Black Lives Matter. Yes, Black Lives Matter. They did actually put funds into queer spaces, but you also have to also keep in mind too, a lot of those funds and stuff, you also have to keep in mind, those are melanated people too. And to be completely honest, it's mostly melanated queer people who mostly benefit from those different organizations and stuff. So, I'm not gonna say mostly, but they benefit from but I would say, I think it's quite safe to say mostly, but they benefit from those contributions. So that's actually helping melanated people too. Now, the only thing I will say about the Black Lives Matter stuff, I felt like they should have helped out the family of George Floyd. and also with a given to some more diverse foundations as well too. That's the only two critiques I would give about the Black Lives Matter. And that lady in the head, she is not to be trusted, but neither are you either. Neither are you, Candace. Kundas, Clandis. No shade. But let me continue. People need to stop being openly hostile and racist toward white people and other Black people. First and foremost, Black people cannot be racist towards Black people. They can be prejudiced. Actually, they can be a piece of shit to each other, be honest. But Black people cannot be racist to white people. It's called prejudice, because what makes the actual racism is prejudice plus power. Prejudice plus power. That's what creates racism. Black people have can uphold the prejudice part, but here in America, and you even said here in your last statement indirectly, and I'm going to read it, or don't complain when white people no longer wish to live, work, or police in our neighborhoods. And the reason why you said that is because you're making it seem like it's quote unquote this bad thing, as in if they leave or don't contribute to our communities, we're going to fall. We're going to have nothing. So lets you know that melanated people, melanated bodies don't have any power. So I'm going back to the second thing you said. Racist toward white people. Black people can't be racist toward white people only because the simple fact of, in order for you to be racist, you must have prejudice plus power. That's the reason why I referenced the third part of what she said. Black people can be prejudiced, but you even admitted it yourself, but we don't have the power part. We don't have the power as in a collective. We don't have the power part to complete quote unquote the racism. So racism can be institutionalized. We're missing that part. So we can be hostile and prejudiced, but we can't quote unquote be hostile and racist because it has to be institutionalized. Now, the whole thing about the other Black people, I do agree. We do. But once again, how do you expect for us to have these conversations, but yet we're not willing to have the conversations and talk about the root? And the root of the issue is racism here in America. Black on Black crime, let's be very clear. That's a moot point, only because of the simple fact that when you have proximity to other people, you're typically gonna have crime around those other people. Like, I'm pretty sure most people who do actually commit crimes, they're not going to drive 45,000 hours up north just to do a crime, just to come all the way back down. Yes, I know that actually happens, but the crime is typically going to happen in the environment that the person's, like, you know, the closest there's typically going to happen around the people that's closest to them. So if you have communities where you're going to have a majority melanated bodies, then yes, you're going to have more. Of course, it's going to probably be more Black on Black crime. And also with that as well, if anti-Blackness and also if racism wasn't present in this country and also in the globe, who's to say that Black and Black crime would even exist, especially at these rates? And who's to say that we wouldn't quote unquote have all these issues that we have literally today? And then also we have to talk about how racism has mutated the psychology of melanated people. Because everything that we do, whether we know it or not, now, yes, I will say this. Nobody in this chat, nobody really living in this world currently today, we're not actually on slave ships directly and actually had that personal experience. But whether you know it or not, a lot of things that we do as the melanated bodies literally comes from either slavery or the history of it. Our belief systems has been colonized. Our minds have been colonized. Something so simple as when melanated people literally get their burgers and want them well done, that comes from slavery times too. Oh, I'm walking into a restaurant. Oh, can I order a burger? Oh, would you like rare, mid-rare, medium, mid-well, or well? I'll have it well done, please. That comes from slavery. Something so small as that comes from slavery as well too. So I think a lot of times when we actually start to have these conversations and do these conversations justice, we can really start to really dig into the psychology of where melanated people are. Because what you don't know is what you can't fix. But once you become aware, you have the opportunity to fix it, if that's really what you want to do. But a lot of times too, we have a lot of people who may appear to be educated in all these spaces, who may appear to be, you know, very informed, or in Candace, and I feel like in Candace, like bits and pieces of Candace, it's like you are informed, you are educated, but you're being intentional at times about misleading because it gets you a check. It gets you a check. Now it says Candace. Now Moesha says Candace of the need to stay out of black people businesses, a business. She chose her side. She needs to be discussing the latest Trump tuna casserole recipe. Girl, you ain't lying. Slavery is still in the soul of our people and remain there until this country allows are the same privileges as other races of people here. Girl, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. But that's all. Let me read just a few more. Then I'm gonna get off of here because I do have to go take my behind to the gym. But let me see this. Now it says, but white people have been hostile towards black people since forever. Make it make sense. Another person says, sigh. Candace, just because white people hated you when you were young does not mean you need to hate yourself just to get your love now. Do everyone a favor and heal. And I do agree. Heal yourself, baby. I like how easy it is for her to rile you up. Once you read her history, you can't be fazed by her any longer. Thanks for entertaining comments, though. I wonder what her history is. Well, the stuff I'm not aware of. We don't care about being integrated with them. Oh damn, I'm over here burping. We just want to be able to have the same opportunities that they have. I agree. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Candace needs to stop worrying about everybody else, especially in melanated communities. Now, the lady is melanated, whether she wants to admit it or not, claim it or not. But if she's going to come and keep over here, if she's going to continue to be a coon, then she chose her side. The same way we treat mammies when it comes down to patriarchy, the same way we treat the self-hating queer people when it comes down to the queer phobia in America, is the same way we're going to treat coons when it comes down to racism here in America, specifically, and also around the globe. My psychology is I'm going to teach you, but at the same time, I'm not going to tolerate your BS. So that is really it for my video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button. Please, make sure you guys thumbs up. It really does help out with YouTube's algorithm. It really does help out. And I also want to say this as well. If you guys have a product, a service, a business that you guys do actually want to promote, make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram to get more details so we can work out the details and really start getting into the works of being able to promote your business here on this platform. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so very much, and I will see you guys later. Deuces!